Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another DigiEduHack coaching call with me, Madeline. Over a time span of 12 weeks, I will be giving you 14 informative coaching calls to help you on your hackathon host journey, all the way from when you register as a host on the platform to when you have successfully completed and hosted your own hackathon. If you're new with us, this is already our 7th coaching call, so you can already look at the first 6 calls first that are recorded and saved in this playlist. If you're an old timer and have followed us from the start, welcome back and keep on watching. If you have any questions, you can answer or ask them in the chat and we will answer them in the chat here under the video as well. You can also reach out to us over email at contact@digieduhack.com, or you can join our support calls that are weekly on Fridays at 10 a.m. These take place over Discord, so in order to be able to join those, you would have to register as a host and join Discord as well. Without further ado, let's jump into today's topic. Today we will be discussing recruiting mentors and jury. We will go all the way from what is it to be a mentor or jury? How do you identify the mentors and jury members that you need? And then we're going to go through all of the recruiting progress. So all the way from identifying and inviting mentors and jury members to onboarding them and having them in your event. Starting with the mentors. The mentors have an important role in a hackathon. They are there to support and support the teams, and also they get a lot of networking and good contacts from themselves as well. Hackathons are super fast and intense events. If you've ever been in one, then you know that. And the teams need to build and test and brainstorm and ideate and do this usually several times over in only 24 hours. The mentors here are here to provide guidance, support, give tools, share their knowledge of what already exists, what has been tested, what approaches could the participants take in their development of the projects, and so on. So they are there to give guidance and support. And as I briefly mentioned, mentors have so much knowledge from their own expertise area, and they can teach the participants so much in terms of skills and best practices, problem solving methods, anything. So the mentors really do provide a lot in the hackathon, being as valuable as it could be in terms of learning new things. The mentors can also help validate the idea and the feasibility of it. Their feedback can be to kind of tweak the project a bit in certain directions that they know that are better and more makes it easier for the teams to actually pull through with that idea and that project. So they have very good insights so that the teams don't have to start over, but they can simply tweak the idea as they go. Mentors usually, or we usually recommend to have mentors from different backgrounds, different expertise areas, different industries, if depending, of course, on your event. But usually mentors offer a very good pool of different backgrounds and different knowledge and expertise. This also means that they can establish good connections with different participants from different knowledge backgrounds and expand their own network there as well. Mentors can sometimes be able to identify good talents in the hackathons that they can become employees at their out of the participants, or whatever the case may be. It can be a good source for long-term collaboration with participants that have the talent that the mentors are seeking at that point. The mentors can work with several teams, so it will be a good way to build connections with also the participants and also other mentors, the organizers, anyone involved. So it's a good networking situation for all. How do you then identify what mentors you need in your hackathon? Start by defining the expertise that is needed. So what specific skills, what knowledge is required for this hackathon? You can here think of the requirements of the hackathon challenge that you have. What are the domains and the fields and the areas of your challenge topic? What does it cover? So that you have mentors to cover that area as well. It's also good to think that you have mentors with enough expertise, not only different expertise, but maybe not, again, depending completely on your project. But if it's a very demanding hackathon, then try to get mentors who also have enough 3+ years of experience within that field. You can utilize your personal networks a lot here. Maybe you even have someone within your organization that could be a good mentor, or maybe different people within your organizations have networks outwards to other interested or interesting mentor potentials. So use your own professional networks, use your organization's professional network, use your personal networks, look into your LinkedIn and so on. So go as broad as you can to find different contacts here. You can also utilize the partners and sponsors networks if you have any in your hackathon, because they might want to provide their own mentors from their organization to be more involved in the hackathon, or B, they might have someone else that they can think of. Encourage diversity as well and strive for diversity among your mentors. Same goes for jury members when we get to that, so that you have different expertise, perspective, experiences. So do aim for a diverse mentor pool. In your hackathon, you also have different criteria for when we actually evaluate the hackathon solutions that the teams come up with. So it's good to have mentors that have knowledge about the different criteria so that all of those can be taken into consideration as well by the teams. It's important that you provide clear expectation regarding the role of being a mentor in a hackathon, the responsibilities that it requires, the time commitment. So make sure that the mentors that you reach out to actually know what they will be doing during the hackathon. Also make sure that the mentors know when they should be available. Since in most cases you don't offer any payment for these mentors, but they are giving their free time to be at your hackathon. So it's probably unrealistic to think that they would be available 24 hours straight. Again, that might be the case, but it might also not be. So it's good to have a few recommended time slots of 3 to 4 hours here and there where the mentors are recommended to be available, so they know that. Also make sure that they know the objective of the hackathon itself. Why are they mentoring? What are they mentoring? What is this event about? And what is the objective of this hackathon? And finally, what's in it for them? So provide clear expectations when you first reach out to your mentors and judges. Here you can see an example of a time schedule. So how and when could you do different activities in terms of recruiting your mentors? Now I know at this point we're already a bit closer to the hackathon already, or regardless of when your hackathon exactly will be, they will all be within the same time frame of 6th to 13th of November. So we're getting close. So if you haven't started any recruiting mentors activities yet, start immediately or as soon as possible. As we said, you start by identifying some candidates. So create a list of interesting individuals with their contact info and so on. After this, you prepare a personalized invitation letter or some sort of messaging that presents the value of being a mentor, the key information, including what is this hackathon about, what is required, what are the time slots they need to be available, and so on. So a one-pager with all of the important information, also highlighting why it's exciting for them to be a part of this and so on. As soon as this is prepared and done, send it out in form of a personalized email. So depending, of course, on how many people you reach out to, try to be as personal as possible. After this, you will notice who answers you and who doesn't. So keep in touch with any warm leads, any interested individuals, and so on. And pretty quickly after, you can actually select who to invite, depending on how many people you want to have mentoring, what kind of expertise are you still lacking, and so on. You can invite all of your interested participants or mentors, but you can also invite a selection. When you've decided who to invite, do check that they actually confirm their mentoring slot so that they will be there. So this can be done in terms of a form or any other way of getting confirmation of those mentors. Here you also already book their calendars for different onboarding sessions and the hackathon itself so that they know that that's the time they will be there. Publish your mentors' names and information to your own hackathon page. It works as a good incentive for the participants that are scrolling through your hackathon page. And it's also good visibility for your mentors as well. When we are, you also need to, before sending out any pictures on your hackathon page or any names and info and so on, please do get consent of those mentors first. So when you ask them to confirm their participation, include a question if it's okay for you to upload their name and information and image to your hackathon page and use in other promotional materials. So as long as you have consent, do publish those names. A bit prior to the hackathon, it's good to host a mentor onboarding session. This can be a 45-minute session or so where you go through everything that is required from the mentors once more in a call, and they have the possibility to ask questions and meet each other and so on. As after this call or in basically at the same time as you're having this call, prepare some guides. We're going to go through these as well. We will be giving you templates of mentor guides with all the needed materials that can work as a good base for the mentors to know what is required, what is happening, and when. So do send out those after the onboarding session. If you record the session, which we recommend, send out that as well. So send all of those materials as well. And the final thing that would happen before the hackathon itself is that you would host a Meet the Mentors session. We're going to go through this a bit more in detail as well, but it's a short session where the teams and mentors can meet each other for the first time already before the hackathon starts. It's a good idea maybe here to combine this session with the participant onboarding session that we're going to go through a bit further as well, but just so that you don't waste too much of your participants' time. And after this, it's hackathon time. On identifying the candidates, you can refer to that slide. Regarding the invitation that you're sending out to all of your candidates, you should at least cover the following. It's somewhat a lot of content, but it should also be pretty brief. So briefly cover all of this. in a one-pager or so. Since it's a DigiEduHack event, go through what that is, just for context, and that they know that this is part of a bigger project. Go through what your own challenge is about, what is the objective of your hackathon, go through how their profile relates to the challenge, why are they interesting and why should they be interested in joining. Why and when do you need them? So again, why are they interesting, and the time availability. When do you need them and for what? What are they going to do? And finally, give a few examples of what's in it for these mentors. First of all, just to name a few examples, and I'm sure you can come up with others on your own as well, but just a few incentives for the mentors to join. Of course, it's a good networking event with enthusiasts, innovators, other experts in the field. It's a good way to get inspired of the ideas, get new insights of processes or different ways to approach certain challenges that maybe they could be finding useful for their organizations. It's a good way to get visibility for yourself and your organization. You can find potential employees, as I mentioned, or subcontractors, or whatever the case may be. So lots of benefits for joining as a mentor. If you want some help with creating your invitation, you can find through this link here on the page a letter template for an invitation that you can then fill in. When you're sending in out your invitations, as I mentioned, think about trying to have them personalized. Even if you're reaching out to several people, use a tool that lets you send out personalized emails as well. And this is also a useful tool for any participant outreach if you're sending out to a long contact list. If you have the time and the capability, it's highly effective to call, maybe do a follow-up call after your email if you haven't heard from them, and so on. So keep the contacting going on several different fields. You can also use your social media, LinkedIn, etc., to chat with mentors, invite them, and start that mentor conversation. When you're selecting your mentors, it kind of depends on the expertise you're looking for and the amount of teams that you have. We advise, and again, you do as you please, but we advise to have a mentor to team ratio of 1 mentor for every 3 to 4 teams, just so that we have a good amount that each team can get help from a mentor whenever they need it, basically. So if you have possibility to have more mentors, excellent. If not, then this would be a very adequate amount so that the teams and the mentors are finding enough time to support each other and work with each other. Out of those people that you have invited and are interested, do select a pool of mentors with a balanced amount when you think of those teams. So team amount and mentor amount are kind of aligned. Also keep in mind the diversity of skills and knowledge and so on when you make your final selection. If you have a hybrid event, you might also want to think of the fact that it's good to have some mentors online and some on-site maybe, however you want to divide that, but all of these things can be taken into consideration. It's also very good to have a mentor that is focusing on the pitching and the presentation of the final solutions, since that will basically be what the teams will be evaluated on in the end. As said, always confirm the commitment from your mentors. It's good to have a few backups, or at least one backup maybe of mentors if someone cancels. Since it's their free time, you never know if something comes up that they can't get out of, they get sick, or their kids get sick, or whatever the case may be. So good to have a few backups. As I said, you can send out a form, for example, where you get all the interesting and required details from those mentors. You can also do anything else that suits you. A checklist of what you should ask, of course, that they do confirm their participation, that you have name, email, phone number, the title and the organization, if that's what you're looking for, and they have that available, and that consent for publishing their info that we talked about. It's always good to have a save the date for the different onboarding sessions here, and of course also send out those calendar invites immediately when you have confirmation. If you have consent, you can publish your mentors on the Hackathon Challenge page dedicated to showcasing your mentors. So on your own challenge page, there's a section for this. This is a good, of course, for the mentors, that they get visibility and they can share that they are a part of this, but it's also a very good way to attract participants that are interested about the mentors' profiles and want to network with them and so on. As I said, it's good to host an onboarding session a few weeks prior to the event, not too close so that it's too close and they don't have time to process everything, but not too far in advance so that they have time to forget. So a good 2-3 weeks prior. This is a good chance for you to present the project in more detail in terms of what is the project, what is the challenge about, what is the hackathon itself, what is the format, all of those different things. And also emphasize the schedule, the tools that will be used, the links, if it's an online or hybrid, anything in terms of logistics and practicalities that the mentors need to know. Once they have that good background picture and that good overall image of your event, go into the mentoring itself. So how will the mentoring take place? Will they be assigned to different teams? Will they just drop in and chat whenever? What are the mentoring slots or the most needed times for mentoring? All of this. And of course, it depends on your format. On-site mentoring might look a bit different than online mentoring. So do go through that. And after this, prepare and distribute a mentor guide and needed materials. This mentor guide, basically, it can also be used as it's a slide deck template that we're gonna provide you, and you can also use that as the base for your onboarding session content, but you can also prepare it then and send it out as a slide deck to the mentors that they can get familiar with. So you can use it for both the onboarding session and then send it out as a guide. Also, we do recommend to record this session and send out that recording along with that email as well. So keep them informed at all times. A week prior to the event, it's optional, but we strongly encourage to host a Meet the Mentors session. This is a very good session where the teams and the mentors can meet ahead of the hackathon. Basically, each team can present their project idea in just 2 minutes or so. No slides, no nothing, just a quick background of the problem that they're trying to solve and how are they trying to solve it. What is the plan for the hackathon, kind of thing. After this, the mentors can give feedback, pointers, comments, ask questions to help the teams already refine their idea and give them some tools to work with before the hackathon actually starts. So based on this conversation, the teams can already develop their solutions a bit before the hackathon, and they don't show up completely empty-handed. A good tip here is to match or merge this Meet the Mentor session with the participant onboarding, so that you book a bit of a longer slot, and then you have a Meet the Mentor session first with the presentation and feedback on the project, and then you immediately move over to onboarding the participants. So you go through again the schedule and the tools and where do they need to be and when and so on with the participants after this session, and that's an easy way to collect all your participants and teams and mentors. That is, in a nutshell, how do you recruit your mentors and onboard them? Of course, they're half, and then the other half of invited expertise is your judges. So let's go through same thing, but on your jury members. As for the jury, of course, and the most important role of the jury is to evaluate your teams, projects, and final solutions. Your jury will consist of experts and professionals within the field of your hackathon, and they can assess the projects and how they have developed during the hackathon. All jury members will be given the evaluation grid that is provided to you, and you can find it in the resources, and these will be used to evaluate the teams. It's important to have a diverse panel of judges, again, so that all of those different criteria are being taken into consideration the same amount, and the evaluation process is as fair and objective as possible. It's good to have different perspectives and different backgrounds and so on, just to give a good overview of the project and that it's being assessed from all of those different point of views. It's fine to have a judge also act as a mentor, but of course, in that case, the mentor judge should split their time when they're mentoring fairly and equally between all the teams, just so that they are fair, and teams that don't work as much with that mentor judge are not feeling that it's unfair to them and so on. Winning a hackathon is a huge achievement for the teams, or can be, and providing it can provide recognition for all their innovative thoughts and amazing development during such a short time and hard work and so on. And the fact that a prestigious and professional panel of judges actually took the time to go through it and gives credit for that can motivate the participants very, very much. So that's an important role of the jury as well. And the feedback, of course, can be used to further develop the projects after, and the teams can understand the strengths and weaknesses of their projects and so on. So the jury and their constructive criticism is super important and a good role to have. How do you go about identifying your judges then? Again, go through the needed expertise here. So the skills and the knowledge that you need for your hackathon, and to be able to assess the solutions in your hackathon. Here again, it's important to go through the requirements and the objectives of your hackathon. Make sure that the jury has an understanding of those. Aim for minimum of 5 years experience within the field here, just so that they're more high-level profiles, have more knowledge, and also are prestigious and bring something to a prestigious jury. We would recommend having 3 to 5 judges-ish on an average in your hackathon. Again, utilize your personal networks. You might know someone already with the right expertise, or have contacts who can connect you with the right expertise. Go through your LinkedIn, both second and first contacts. Think of your professional and personal networks and so on. Also here, we encourage diversity, especially since we want all of those evaluation criteria to be taken into consideration as much, and we want it to be several perspectives. So think of the diversity a lot here. And same thing as with the mentors, provide clear expectations to the jury regarding their role, responsibilities, commitment that they need to give and be available. Make sure that they understand what they will be doing and what their role is. Recruiting your judges, similar time frame here. First, you need to identify, of course, a list of those potentials, prepare a personalized letter for those as well, send that out, keep in touch with warm leads, and finally invite or select your jury of 3 to 5-ish members. Ask for confirmation, send calendar invites, ask for consent to publish their names, and then proceed to do so. And also host a judge onboarding session for these to once more go through face-to-face what they need to know, and send out the same helpful resource materials in terms of guides and recordings to all of the judges before the hackathon. When it comes to the invitation, again, keep it informative and brief. So quickly cover what the DigiEduHack is, what is the challenge about, what is expected, what are the objectives, is there any requirements that they need to be aware of. Go through how their profile again relates to the challenge, why would they be a good fit for this jury, why do you need them and when do you need them? So again, availability time, what is required, how much do they need to prepare, where do they need to be, and so on. And again, let's go through what's in it for them. So again, get inspired by these innovative ideas, get to network with different high-profile judges, and get visibility and so on. And here again, you can have an invitation letter template to send out to the juries. Just fill in the details that are concerning your own hackathon event. Same here. Do try to have the emails that you send out as personalized as possible if you reach out to several potential juries. Also give a call after or send a LinkedIn message after, or whatever the case may be, but do follow up and keep in contact with these warm leads. When selecting your judges, as said, we do recommend to have around 3 to 5 judges in your panel. If you're dealing with a very large hackathon, so you have more than 15 teams, then it might be a good idea to have a bit more, so maybe 4 to 6 judges, and then divide those into 2 jury panels. And then you let each group of jury members pre-screen half and half of those teams. After the top teams from each half and each jury panel has been decided, they can then come together and discuss the top teams of the joint top teams, and then together come up with the winning teams. So that is one way to go forward if you have several teams and you don't want to waste too much time on the evaluation and pitching. And again, based on the size of your hackathon, have a balanced number and a good diversity in your jury. Make sure to, again, confirm the commitment as early as possible from your judges, including, again, that they will participate, all the personal data that you need. The title and organization could be very useful since it's a good incentive for the participants to see. The consent if you want to publish them on your challenge page. a link to their LinkedIn and whatever the case may be. And again, add here an informative line or two with the dates and times that they need to be available. If you have the consent, again, it's a good idea to publish your judges' profiles, names, titles, images, so that the teams and interested participants can be even more attracted to your challenge and want to present their final solution to these individuals. A few weeks before, host an onboarding session to your jury members. This usually is a bit shorter than the mentor brief, but it's good to schedule the same, around 45-ish minutes, so that you have time to have an introduction of the jury members. They can introduce themselves to each other. You can go through everything that is needed. So again, what is the project about? What is this hackathon challenge about? What are the objectives? How many teams are we looking at? Go through the evaluation grid. How is the evaluation process going to take place? Meaning, how will the pitches be presented? How long is a pitch? What does it include? Do the jury get a Q&A after the pitch? How is the deliberation process going to take place? And then, as I said, go through the evaluation grid together, so that the jury understands what it's all about. How do they fill it up? What are the scores they can give, etc., etc. Guide them through the process. Also, here you can use the same guide that is provided for the jury members in your content for this session. And make sure to emphasize the judge's schedule and what is needed from them. To follow up with your judges, prepare and distribute that jury guide and other needed materials. It's a good way for them to be able to go back to that if they are feeling lost with something. They have all the links in one place, so they don't need to search for them in their email inbox. They have everything that they need in one place. And also, we do recommend again that you record this session and send out that recording to the jury members as well, along with that guide. Yes, and here it's always good to also send out that calendar invitation for the event day when the judges are expected. So already in the confirmation of your jury members, you can send out calendar invitations to the onboarding session, and then either then or later send out the invitations for their jury window as well. That was a very brief presentation of how and when you should recruit your judges and your mentors. Again, depending on your own project, there can be a lot of different things to take into consideration, so you know your own hackathon challenge best. Look at the invitation templates that are included in the presentation. Look at the guides and make sure to ask us if you have any questions regarding these or anything else that was presented or anything else regarding the whole DigiEduHack event. Make sure to join us in the weekly call on Friday at 10 a.m. Join Discord if you haven't, and do start searching immediately for your mentors and jury members if you haven't done so yet. Don't be overwhelmed. People are super interested to join always, so shouldn't be a problem, but do reach out well in advance so that you have time to confirm and secure those mentors and jury members, and you still have a bit of time maybe to use them in your promotional materials. For published events, do keep in mind that the deadline to send in your project plan is on the 6th of October, so next week, so that we can look it through and make sure that you have a good plan for your hackathon, and we can support you the best way we can. So do send those in within the week. That being said, I want to thank you again for joining, and reach out to us with any questions. And otherwise, I will see you again next Tuesday. Since next week, we will be giving not 1, but 3 coaching calls, depending of your format. Are you hosting an on-site, an online, or a hybrid event? So lots of me. If you want, you can tune in Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday next week. Enjoy your evening, everyone, and until next time.